Man never imagined that while others were still stuck in the primitive age, fighting with swords and spears, he had already awakened a power that could crush them all, the power of flame magic. Originally, Jack was nothing more than an ordinary soldier in this world. He had even been abandoned by his comrades in the middle of battle, but instead of dying, he awakened, in the face of death, the fire magic that should have existed only in dreams. Not only that, after swallowing an entire divine stone, said to strengthen the body, something strange began to happen inside him. Normally, someone of his low rank was allowed to consume only a single drop of divine stone essence, but this time, Jack had eaten the whole thing by himself. He thought it would surely kill him, but after sleeping for a whole night, he woke up to find that all his wounds had miraculously healed. When he moved, there was no pain anywhere, and when he tried to use his flame magic again, its power was several times greater than before. Jack couldn't understand how it had become so strong, and to his shock, a divine marking had appeared on his face. In this world, only those blessed by the land god possessed such markings. That was when Jack realized he had completely transformed. He was no longer the powerless soldier everyone used to look down on. Jack wanted only one thing now, to regroup with the others, but as he climbed the cliffs on his way back, he noticed something odd. The rock was soft. He crushed it easily with his fingers. Had his strength really grown to this level? Then, a mysterious voice whispered in his ear, "Go." Jack didn't think much of it. He simply pushed off with one hand, and climbed several meters of cliff in an instant. When he returned to the village, everyone was stunned to see him alive. Jack didn't mention anything about the divine marking on his face. While helping with farm work, he accidentally used too much force. The others had stopped working long ago, but Jack had single-handedly plowed the entire field. If they hadn't called him to eat, he probably wouldn't have noticed at all. To him, it didn't even feel like hard labor. He quickly bent down to check whether the divine mark had appeared. If anyone saw it now, it would cause a huge commotion. The villagers asked why he seemed like a completely different person. Jack only replied that he had accidentally eaten too much divine stone. Thankfully, they didn't take it seriously. A few days later, Jack went to a secluded spot to test his flame magic, but just then, a woman named Annie appeared and saw the fire in his hand. Annie was one of the local guardians. When she looked at him, she immediately sensed something was off. Realizing he couldn't hide it, Jack reluctantly told her everything that had happened. After hearing his story, Annie told Jack that he had the talent of a divine envoy, someone in the mortal world who could wield sacred, miraculous arts. Since that was the case, he could no longer remain a simple soldier. Annie decided to test his abilities and began training with him. Jack discovered that during training, the divine marking did not appear, and even when he wasn't being serious, he was already strong enough to match Annie. A few days later, Annie said she needed to visit the resting place of the land god to pay respects. That place was often haunted by gray apes, so she asked Jack to accompany her. When they arrived, Jack knelt before the land god's gravestone, and to his surprise, he could read the ancient script carved upon it. But before he could say anything, the gray apes suddenly attacked. Although Annie was also blessed by the land god, she was considered the weakest among the guardians. Facing the apes, she trembled and couldn't even strike back. Thankfully, Jack stepped in just in time and saved her.